So why do you think it's so hard for men, especially men of color, to talk about their health?
I mean, you got shoot any man, right? Um, we all have that stigma. We all have that culture that we grew up with. Like, you know, men don't cry, whatever it is. You know what I mean? You play football, you might, first time you get hit, you might, want to cry. Second time you get hit, you know what I'm saying? And third time you're like, all right, now I understand what this is about now. Like, it ain't no crying in this thing, right? Don't nobody care. So men just don't know how to talk about stuff. I think we're not taught to necessarily verbalize our feelings. And because we don't verbalize our feelings, right, we don't really know how to process things or really try to understand or even just communicate what we actually feel. If you feel something, oftentimes for us is going to be like an anger or frustration. You know how to deal with that, right? Even if it's just to go hit the bag, I got to get out my frustrations in some kind of like physical act. I can go to the gym, physically push it off me, hit the bag, do whatever, right? Get into MMA, all this type of stuff. But nobody really said go play football. Nobody ever said, you know what I'm saying, use your anger and talk about it. Sit with your anger, understand your feelings, and then come back and tell me about your feelings. And let's talk about what made you mad, how you gonna deal with it next time. Nah. Most kids and young, you got an anger issue, put that kid in football. Use that aggression and make him just go out there and just, fuck him up. You know what I mean? So nobody really teaches us. So that's why I think by the time you get to certain ages, adults, 18, 19, 20, all that, I mean,
It's so compressed already
yeah, it's
inside of
already
them.
there. And that's all I know is how to deal with it in this way. Like, I don't know how to be talking, so even if you're talking about with your lady, I don't know how to necessarily communicate. I'm frustrated, so I go leave or I'm going to go, might smoke or something to just kind of like, we do a lot of things to try to escape. Even if you have a man cave, right?
Huh?
The concept of the man cave is almost like an escape room. More than anything, like I can just go down here and not be bothered by nothing. Not necessarily have to deal with the problem. Just kind of like whatever it is, music, I can play the game, I can do whatever I want to do and not be bothered and not necessarily deal with it. But once I leave the man cave, it's right there in my face. You know what I'm saying? You still ain't dealt with the problem. So I just feel like men just don't really, we're not taught to do all these type of things, to talk about stuff, process emotions, understand what they mean. You know what I mean? And so I think that's the biggest thing. And we just don't know how to engage with emotions and stuff like that.
I was telling my son on the way here about that. I was like, you should listen to this interview. He's like, well, I'm gonna listen to it on the way home.